Hi, I'm Sinare. I'm a bubbly, witty 20-something-year-old just trying to figure it all out. I'm also the founder of On Tape, a network that takes a deep dive into the normal through conversations that feel both real and refreshing. I host On Tape, the podcast, and I am one half of a brand new podcast called Lowkey Loud. This International Podcast Day, I've been reflecting on how much I love bringing people together through stories and sound, and I want to re-echo one thing. Uganda needs more creators, more voices, more stories told by us. Welcome to On Tape, the right space for stories that feel like home. Hi guys, I guess I'm back. I'm so sorry guys, the break was long. I don't even remember how I've been doing this. The people crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do, and I guess that makes us maniacs over here. This is a podcast where we deep dive into the normal and hold conversations on experiences we wouldn't normally have on tape. So before we even get into the meat of the episode, I feel like we need to catch up. Where have there been no episodes? I promised that I would deliver, and I kind of went silent. But it's been a lot. It's been a lot with school, but also I'd gotten kind of just into this space where I was ready to shoot and ready to go. But then I felt like the vision of the podcast had been compromised, if that makes sense. If I'm just being transparent, I think the last 2 episodes that I did, I just felt like I wasn't feeling that's what On Tape is about. Because when I started On Tape, this is a platform where we're supposed to have all these bold, transformative conversations about things that people don't usually talk about on tape. So I felt in a way I was kind of toning myself down and trying to be like everyone else. And I just felt no, this is really not the vision. So I had to go back to the drawing board and what was my vision or what was my mission when I started this platform. And yeah, so we've been doing a lot of planning. I also now have a team, which is actually part of just because today I do want to talk about, how I started the podcast and that whole journey. And a part of the biggest hardship has been just doing everything by yourself. So yeah, I'm super, super grateful that I now have a team. Joe, say hi in the background. Say hi with your nice voice. One of them is just around actually. He's shy. Hi. Oh! But so I feel you're definitely going to get more from us. And I just felt I didn't want to put anything out if it wasn't something that I was proud of. But yes, you're welcome back to On Tape. Just On Tape. You can follow us on socials. We are On Tape UG everywhere. We're also on all your podcast platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube because it means a lot to us now more than ever. But yeah, let's get into the meat of this episode. I don't know if this is coming out on World Podcast Day. If it does not, we apologize. But World Podcast Day is on 30th September every year. So yeah, we're gonna share a couple of videos from a couple of other podcasters who I feel I just want to appreciate first of all because this was also so on short notice, and just reaching out to them and letting them know. I was just happy that most of them were very, even the ones that were not able to, because they were not shooting or anything like that, I could feel the energy they wanted to be a part of this project. So I feel this is just I guess us trying to show you that we're here and we're not going anywhere. Podcasting in Uganda, this is just the beginning. I feel we're gonna have so much creativity and I'm excited to see more podcasts that are out of the box. I want to see people doing crime documentaries. I want to see people I want us to just go out of the box, and for Uganda to just also be like, just like our neighbors. I feel like the Kenyans are doing like the most out of the podcast space. So for me, this episode was mostly like even reaching out to these guys just to show people that as Ugandan podcasters, we're actually a collective. Like, we're not competing with each other. There's enough space for everyone, and we're actually working together. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy this, and yeah, a special thanks to everyone that was a part of this. But yeah, thank you.
I like seeing us. Okay.
All right.
Okay, action.
That's
Let's go.
My name is Hannah Arinitwe, and I'm the host of the Young and Branded podcast, where we speak about all things purpose, creativity, and owning your brand as a young person. And we just finished shooting episode 2. And if you haven't subscribed, please do that right now.
My name is Bonnie Chibuka, and I'm the podcast host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. The Ugandan Boy Talk Show is a podcast that explores stories. I bring very different and diverse people on the podcast: musicians, comedians, just regular people, anybody and everybody who could sit down to have a conversation with me from really different career paths, diverse people from all over the world. It could be Uganda. I know Uganda is like 90% of my audience or my guests, but I actually bring people from other countries to come on here to share. So basically, we just share stories and impactful topics. Like recently, I just had a topic about financial literacy, which I think is a very big issue in Africa and all countries around the world. But yeah, that's about my podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Melvin,
Sydney.
and this is the Mob Jazz Podcast. And happy International Podcast Day. Our message for International Podcast Day is that conversations matter. Conversations are time capsules, and one day in 100 years, someone will look back and hear what we had to say, hear what you had to say as a podcaster, and it will mean something. It will take them back to a time, it will bring them into the present, and help them reflect and like just compare. And history repeats, bro.
Yeah.
And I guess podcasts are now like a platform where people will be able to hear what guys were talking about back then and be able to place it in their own context. So that's what it means to me, at least. And I hope that this can become a holiday that people celebrate every year, and put on their calendars, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you know that over 197,000 young people listen to podcasts in Uganda alone? Globally, 584 million people listen to podcasts, and the numbers keep increasing each and every day. That's to show you that podcasting is the moment right now all over the world. So what does this mean for our generation? This means that we are changing narratives. This means we are shaping culture. We are inspiring so many people all over the world. But it also means that there's a very hungry audience for information, yearning to learn through podcasts right now. For fellow podcasters that are watching, keep going, keep doing what you do best. For our audiences, thank you so much for enjoying our content and continue to do so. For those that plan to start podcasting, please start now. It's as simple as your idea and a platform. Other than that, happy International Podcasting Day from me and my team. Bye-bye.
I really want to congratulate everybody that has a podcast in Uganda, everybody that took the decision to start, because I believe that's the hardest step to take, to start, because you can't just sit back there. Some of us hate listening to ourselves, but I think I'm used to it right now. But sitting down, hours of editing, hours of recording, shooting, the things we go through, like people didn't show up, guests don't come out, episode didn't do very well, you don't have money to do this, you don't have money to do that, but you stick through that. So I want to congratulate you for sticking through and making all that happen, and you're still here. So the other encouragement is just keep showing up. Some days are going to be harder than the other. You're going to see the episode is not moving. You're going to feel frustrated. Hours of editing for those of you who edit your own podcast. Investing for those of you who put money in your podcast. It's going to be a lot. Sit down and think back to why you started this, to your why, and that should guide you through all the steps, the hard times and the difficult times. So, and I hope you have a good International Day for Podcasting?
For me, I as you said, conversation is important, and it helps us have a voice. Like it's not every day you can get to talk to people and hear back from them on a public platform. And podcasts give that to everyone, not just like a select few. There for everyone. So, International Podcast Day I love it because it honors that. It honors communication and growth of people's voices. So yeah.
So man, start your podcast, bro. If you want
Yeah.
to start it, who cares, man? Just do it if you want to do it, to be honest.
And you'll get your people.
Yeah,
that
you'll
will
be
listen to
surprised.
you.
You'll be surprised once you hear what you have to say. And honestly, man, if Chalika gets a holiday, why not podcasting?
Fair enough.
International Happy Podcast.
Fair enough. International Podcast Day.
Yoo-hoo, glorious oddballs. My name is Elvis Nume, the creator of Weird FM. Damn. DAMN. That's design, art, music, noise. We're a brand new broadcast that's joined the Ugandan podcast scene.
My intention for creating Weird FM stems from the love that I have for translating the world into frames or design beats.
Weird FM is for literally anyone and everyone. It is rated PG. I can only imagine where we're going to be in the next few years. If you're out there and you have this idea for a podcast and you want to start, please just start. Join the community. It's amazing to see how we are all willing to share, to learn, and it's inspiring. So I hope that you find the guts to roll your idea and mold it into life. I've been wanting to start Weird FM for the longest time, but I didn't feel like I was ready or new enough. But I decided to create the first episode. Here we are, 3 episodes in as of this recording. And yeah, we broke the 3-episode barrier. Anyone who's listening, please consider this an invite to tune into Weird FM. We aim to entertain, teach, and learn ourselves, and then share all that information.
Weird FM.
Yeah, baby.
Glorious Prank that dealt Weird FM. That's design, art, music, and noise. Serving up a steamy hot mess of creative chaos.
Turning creative mayhem into public radio since 5,202.
This plan is humanity's last chance.
So,
I see no other option to initiate
Weird FM.
to save us all.
Damn.
Hola, bonjour. My name is Kania Caitlin.
My name is Nantege Virginia. And we are the hosts of How's the Weather podcast. How's the Weather is a podcast where everyday conversations turn into extraordinary insights.
Around here, the chat is usually sometimes sunny with laughs, sometimes stormy with truths. Always a mix of music, life, pop culture, and much more.
Much more.
Yeah.
We unpack with honesty and curiosity. So if ever you need a podcast where it feels like you're catching up with a friend
That makes you think
you're in the right place, World Podcast Day is here. Yeah. What message do you have for the people there?
Today, as we celebrate International World Podcast Day, we celebrate the power of conversations, stories, voices that connect us together around the world. Yeah. Podcasts inspire, educate, and entertain, and also bring the community together, one episode at a time.
Oh, and we have much more than one episode. There are about 20.
20?
Yeah.
So, my message to all the listeners, dreamers, creators out there, thank you for keeping the mic alive.
That's right.
And also continue sharing your stories because someone out there needs to hear them.
Mic drop. my message to emerging creators, already existent creators, and those who are aspiring: podcasting is not just a mic and a seat. Research is part of the art. Research the information that you give out to people so that you can give them real concrete information instead of misinformation, and also understand what you're trying to build and pour into people wholly and fully. And a special message to Spotify. Podcasting in Uganda is growing tremendously, and there's a huge opportunity here. However, there are certain hiccups like pricing, like the fact that some of our podcasts are not hosted on your platform. And for emerging creators, that's a huge gap. However, I would love to explore certain solutions like regional pricing. Would love to see support. We would love to host support for African podcasters and also creator programs that allow us to grow as podcasters. We're building something really beautiful here. And with your help, Spotify, I'm sure we can go even further than we imagined. And I think the last one from both of us, what would we love to see? Collaboration. Yeah. Would love to see collaborations with our friends in Kenya. Habari. But yeah, would love to see collaborations. Would love to see us work together. They have mastered, or they are mastering, the game of podcasting. So picking one or two things from them would really do no harm. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you. Happy podcasting day. How's the weather where you are?
Back in high school, I think senior 4, I had always known, I think not known, but I had always loved to begin a podcast. Although by that time, podcasts were not really a thing like that. But I'm just starting. It's just a few months ago that I got the guts to actually start and have one. The podcast industry in Uganda has been it has grown gradually. I'll not deny that. It has grown. But then the podcasts that are there is still room for specialities. Like, there's so much to talk about. There is so much we do not know, or like some perspectives that we haven't yet even thought about. So yes, if you're out there and you just want to begin a podcast and you feel like maybe there is something that hasn't been tackled, or even what has been tackled, but you have a different perspective, please just start. The best thing to do for yourself is to start. I started, I think I postponed because I had so many excuses. I have no phone, producer, what? But I started with just my phone. And when I took that very step, I never looked back. Yeah, till several months later, here I am. Hi, my name is Lynette. I'm the host of the Bold and Bubbly podcast. The podcast is about growth of confidence in young people. Yes, we air on YouTube at Bold and Bubbly and all our social media platform, which is X, Instagram, and TikTok, still at Bold and Bubbly. Remember, your story is powerful and your voice deserves to be heard. Happy podcast day.
Isn't it a privilege to be a podcaster in 2025? With technology and all these gadgets that have been upgraded to facilitate podcasts, simply amazing, and it would be a shame if we didn't leverage that opportunity. Hi, my name is Agi Patricia Turomwe, and I'm a podcaster of the podcast On Uganda. It's pretty much about achieving a middle-class economy. So the World Bank projected that Uganda is going to achieve a middle-class economy by 2040. But is that true? And if not, how do we get to that middle-class economy? And if we get there, how do we thrive in that middle-class economy? So that's pretty much what the podcast is about. We bring on leaders who share their information, who share their insights, share their knowledge, because they're working in these sectors that fuel the wheels of Uganda's economy. So at the end of the day, we get this information that will then inform our decisions in the future to be able to contribute to that economy. Thank you so much, On Tape. Thank you for celebrating International Podcast Day with all podcasters, especially in Uganda. You are bold, transformative, and disrupting conversations. So keep on doing that. If you have been struggling to start a podcast, because today with the technology, you can only go upwards. It used to take us 3 hours, even more, to edit a podcast. Now, with technology, with all the AI-powered software, it only takes you 30 minutes. So leverage that, and let's see you on the podcasting apps. We hope that we get to hear your podcast. Happy International Podcast Day.
Go. What's up, guys? This is the Don't Add Me podcast with Paul and
Manzi.
Yeah, Manzi the fake one. So we're here to talk about International Podcast Day. We are gifted to be hosts of a podcast. Who would know? And basically, what the podcast has done for me personally. Before now, I'm famous. I have babes.
I don't know how your woman is going to feel about you saying babes.
I'm joking. So, our podcasting is something that has helped me come out of my shell as a person, and generally, it has brought out who I am. Before I wasn't myself.
Now
I feel
it changed you. It switched you up.
Yeah, this is who I am.
But on my end, I think the podcast has been a really, really good opportunity because it has allowed me to meet people, to engage with people on a deeper level. Because when we started it, we were just two guys in a room in uni, just trying to crack jokes and talk about babes.
Women
and
girls.
situationships and relationships. And in the process, we've grown as people. We've got to meet really amazing people. We've got to engage. And also it's the beauty of the impact to see other people feel about the podcast. When you meet someone and they're like, you talked about something that meant a lot to me. And it's like, I have stories for my kids. So shout out Don't Add Me Podcast. Shout out YouTube.
All right. Happy International Podcast Day.
And if you want to start a podcast, go for it.
If you want, babes.
Hi guys, I'm Sinari
and I'm Bana,
and together we host
Lowkey Loud.
So Lowkey Loud is a new podcast brought to you by On Tape, a platform, and we strive to give you very transformative, bold conversations, especially from African women. We feel like African women, there's a lot that's taboo, and we're just saying no. We're gonna talk about it.
So we are excited to be Lowkey Loud, and we are also excited to share ourselves, what we are comfortable sharing, what we find uncomfortable in society, what we want to speak about, things like that. At the end of the day, that's what a podcast is supposed to be about, sharing yourself, speaking out, or having conversations, talking about our days, because, sometimes you just literally want someone to rant to, and if you don't have someone, and you can listen to us, hitting two birds with one stone. So that's who we are, and we're excited to be in this space, and we hope you're going to enjoy it. And
I think what I can add on to that is just that podcasts have given us a space where we have that freedom to express ourselves. And so this is us going back to 12, 13-year-old us. We want younger women to be able to access this platform and get the big sister advice that we never got. So basically, we're your big sisters. We're firstborn, so you're in safe hands.
By force, by fire. You will accept us.
Please. No, it's really a space where we're just going to be loud about the things that are happening. We will not sweep them under the rug. We shall not pretend like they are not happening. And I feel like us being a very new podcast, the advice that would give to anyone that's starting is really just start.
Just do it. I know it's difficult. You don't have equipment. You don't have resources. You're not sure of the location. You want to be perfect at the very start.
Everything. Your acne is not yet done. There's so much stopping you.
Acne is crazy. Hey, you might be there thinking, the angles, body dysmorphia. You have a lot, but you know what? Just start. You will figure it out on the way. Trust and believe there is always a way. As long as you start the journey, all you need is consistency. One way or the other, you'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we want to be your guide because as we are shooting this, we do not have an episode out, but this is us basically commuting to the whole of Uganda.
Right.
That we are an actual podcast and we
want you to listen to us.
Yeah,
we want you to listen to us, by the way.
Commuting, guys. So just start. Just be like us. You just start. Yeah. Whether you know the production will happen or not.
You just start. You figure it out. You figure it out. Also, the other thing would be to believe in yourself. That's the other word of encouragement I'd like to give you, because I know podcasts are tricky because you fear people judging what you're going to say, your opinions. And like, I think I was talking to one of my friends and he said, you know what, who cares? We have one life, man. If all you want to do is yap on a microphone, just do it. As long as you know you're not offending anyone. And even if you are offending anybody, they'll be okay. You know,
me, I never
believe in
thought,
yourself. Yeah,
because I know for most podcasters, I know you're that one child who is always top on the noise making list. Guess what? It's finally paying off.
I wasn't. I was a good kid.
If you were on top of the noise makers list, guess what? It's finally paying off, because guess what? Being noisy and loud, it's never paid off like in 2025 before.
Right.
We have the freedom where you can open up a YouTube channel, you can open up a podcast, even with just your voice notes on your phone and like say something. So for me, I feel like so long as you have something to say, just say it.
Yeah.
Like, do not hold back, because tomorrow you could get hit by a car. Like, I'm not joking.
And we will have to say those things on your deathbed.
But what I'm saying is, like, we want you to leave a living documentation, proof of life.
Proof of life.
Is proof of
for
life.
Sure.
Podcast is proof of I was here, I said something, and I know it was hard.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and we hope to see you, you know, as we celebrate International Podcast Day. We really hope to see you. We don't care. We are still celebrating it.
For us,
we really hope to see you put yourself out there. Talk about, even if you're interested in just computers, man. Just, let me tell you, the problem is when you start yapping, we don't finish. So anywho, believe in yourself, just start. Procrastination gives you the assumption that you have a lot of time, and we don't really have time. This is me telling myself this advice as well. And trust me, you got this. You got this, yeah.
Just
and happy belated International Podcast Day. Yay!
Bye.
Have you ever wondered if your pantry could truly sustain you and your family through anything? Unexpected job loss, rising prices, sickness, or even just the busy seasons of life? Are you tired of the daily shopping list bombarding you each time you leave the house? Do you dream of a week, maybe 2, that you could just go straight home without stopping to buy groceries? Are you tired? Well, welcome to the Food Storage 131 Experience, a podcast where we dive into the world of food storage, stocking up wisely, and building real peace of mind. I'm Joyce Katende, and together on this podcast, we explore simple but practical steps to help you create a food storage system that actually works for your lifestyle. My ultimate goal with this podcast is to help you stock up a year's worth of food for your family, even though you may be starting from scratch, even though you have no clue what you're doing, and most importantly, without breaking the bank. Each week, we break down the best ways to stretch your budget, choose the right staples, and avoid common mistakes so you can feel confident and prepared without the overwhelm. As we celebrate International Podcast Day, my encouragement to all of us out there is 3 things in one. 1, feel the fear and do it anyway. Tomorrow is not promised to any man. Today is the gift you have. So step up, step out, and just go for it. 2. If it's keeping you up at night, daydreaming, tossing and turning, you don't need a lightning bolt from the sky. You already have your sign. Just do it. And 3, do it without the right equipment. Do it without the right training. Do it when you don't have a studio. Do it even without anyone cheering you on. If it's burning daily in your heart, just do it. I welcome you again to my podcast, The Food Storage 131 Experience, your guide to food security, one shelf at a time.
Hi everybody, happy Podcasters Day. My name is Shalom Nicolette Ayongete Bia from the TTT podcast, which I co-host with a friend of mine called Shivan Tumwesije. And we really bring you the Jesus tea with truth and testimonies. And that's our tagline on the podcast. But it's really it, because we talk about how awesome God is, what He has done for us, how He has picked us up from the gutter, from the miry clay. And we really up, giving all the praise and honor. So about the podcasting podcasting scene in Uganda, we are really proud about it because it has a whole lot of potential. It has it's a very virgin land and untapped, and we believe in its growth because we also started this year, but we believe that we are going to even get more subscribers and more mileage from that, and more lives will be changed and will win more souls for God's kingdom in that way. And what I would tell people who really want to start podcasting is first pray about it, consult God, because He's the one who guides us in everything that we do. So I wish you all the best, and I love you all, but God loves us all even more. Yay!
Hello there. Happy International Podcast Day. My name is Shivan Tumwesije, and I'm part of the TTT podcast, which is the Truth, Testimony, and Tea podcast. You can find us on YouTube. Now, this podcast is a Christian faith-based podcast where me and my friend Shalom come together and talk about the journey of salvation that we are on. We talk about our experiences that we have had, the ups and downs of the journey, how we talk about our intimate relationship with God and, the Trinity, Jesus, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And this is basically to encourage believers out there that, these things that we experience in this journey, the salvation journey, it's not, everyone else goes through all these seasons, the dry seasons, the waiting seasons. So we come together to encourage other believers and all our viewers that really take time to tune in so that we can grow together as a church. And just an encouragement for the new aspiring podcasters, I would just encourage you to do it. Just start. It is easy to have an idea and a dream and passion to start a podcast, but that it will just remain in your head and remain as a dream if you do not take that step, that extra step to start and have faith, So just begin. Once you begin, everything else will unfold. And just maybe a few tips I could give to the new creators: just be your authentic self. Because in my experience, what I've realized is that authenticity attracts, but pretentiousness repels. And somehow people always know that you're pretending. Do you know what I mean? So just be your authentic self. But then above being authentic, be vulnerable, because vulnerability is a pathway to intimacy. And that's what you want with your viewers. You want them to relate to you, to know you, and be, be authentic and be vulnerable, because there you will attract the audience that you want to attract. But otherwise, stay blessed and happy International Podcast Day once again.
My name is Irene. My name is Paula. My name is Diana. And we are After His Heart. In a world where everybody has opinions and how you should go about life, how you should live, our mandate is to make sure we remind each other and our generation of how to literally follow God's path. Scripture, faith-minded people all of that. So we seek to literally follow
After
after
his
his heart.
heart.
Hallelujah. Future of podcasting in Uganda is like the economy. Anyway, seriously, I'm excited about us having spaces where we can have conversations, where we can talk and just really equip each other, grow, to stop having conversations. I think is detrimental to any society. So this is our version in this generation, and I love it.
So a tip I have for new podcasters, don't be a vibes master. Prepare. Preparation is actually key. Yeah. Another tip, have fun. Enjoy what you're doing. Don't try to be like anyone else. Your calling was not a conference call.
An encouragement I'd have for aspiring podcasters is to know what you're offering and make sure that it is of value. So value addition, and believe in yourself and make as much research as you possibly can so that what you're giving out is real, true, and is also adding value. So that's what I would say.
Hi, my name is Gordon, and I'm a Ugandan podcaster. Celebrate, I guess it's more than 5 or 7 years being in this game of podcasting. I'm an audio podcaster, not a video, but I'm an audio podcaster. And I'm a very proud podcaster who talks about life. And my podcast name is All About Gordon, which can be accessed on all streaming platforms. And it talks about the daily things, the daily happenings. Could be life, could be health, church, marriage, but you will not find me talk about football, neither politics. So it's about my experiences with life, what my fans want to talk about, and that's how my podcast is generated. I'm very excited to celebrate the International Podcasters Day this day, the 30th of September. It is done every year, and I'm privileged to be a part of the celebrations once in a while. And this year, I am excited to share a message to people out there that podcasts are another way, another therapeutic way of reaching out to people, of speaking to people, of voicing opinions of people that are not heard or are not listened to and are not given a platform to speak. I'm telling people out there that on this day, we celebrate every voice, we celebrate every video, we celebrate artwork and creatives that are aiming at giving life, giving joy, putting a smile on someone's face. So as podcasters, what are we doing? We speak on behalf of the others and we make the world know. We make mention and make known to the world what's happening where others are not or where others have been present. An encouragement to the podcasters, do not give up no matter what. I know people on the internet steal our work and pirate it and then use it for their own selfish gains, re-edit it according to what they want. Do not give up. And I always tell people that when you send out your podcast, please leave your contacts. Mention your contacts or drop your contacts on your share so that people can reach out to you for any clarity. But do not give up at podcasters. We are a team. We will get there day by day. We'll get there. The growth of the podcast in Uganda, it has grown in a good way and also in another, to me, annoying way. Why? When we had just started podcasts in Uganda, we didn't have so much of the podcasts like individual podcasts. And Miss Daisy put us together for some reason, and then we had these many other podcast platforms where people meet. And then now Ugandans have missed out the point. Originally, the podcasts were aimed at something, but now every other celebrity or every other known person who comes, socialite who comes up, they're doing podcasts, they're doing YouTube channels, and then speaking to people, hosting people. So to me, it looks like they think it's about hosting famous people or talking about famous topics to gain likes and shares. That is not what podcasts are about. And I would love to see in the pattern of growth, I would love to see the podcasters meet once in a while, have masterclasses, training, refreshers, and then understand what podcast is really about. It's not about speaking. It's not about a good microphone, a good sound, a good video. It's much more than just what the eye meets. But the growth is good. but we just need to reflect on about it. For those who want to get into creatives, mostly the new people want to join podcasts, come along. Don't do it for money. Do it as a passion. Do it as a job. Because when you do something you're passionate about, it is amazing, the results that you get. Thank you so much for listening in. To everyone out there listening in, happy International Podcasts Day. My name is Gordon Mogul JB. Look out for me. I am the big thing that you've not yet known. Bye.
Cool. That was good.
Hi guys, welcome back from what I hope was an emotional roller coaster. No, for me it was. I know it's not emotional, but like to see that they're all these podcasts and they all started from just an idea and a dream, and then people now working together to make that idea come to life. So I hope that you go and check out these podcasts. I've made sure to add their socials and where you can find them. Please make sure you go and support Ugandans. I also want to come for or attack the guys that don't watch Ugandan podcasts, because I feel like I used to be in that space. Like, you sometimes feel like, of course we watch a lot of like content from like the Western world and what, but I feel like there's also just something so relatable and like, I don't know, I swell with pride every time that I see someone just do something special, and there's also just that pride, like, these are my people. So I feel like let's support Ugandan creatives more, and maybe this is also why those guys are scared to start, because they're just like, if these guys have 2 views, who am I? And like, I think the other thing that I would also say for anyone who's starting a podcast is like, don't let the views get in the way of you starting, or don't let them determine anything, because if it was about views, I would be in my house sleeping. I mean, I'm in my house, but like, I wouldn't be doing this, because I feel like sometimes the views can be like so discouraging. Like, you put so much work and effort into something, and then you put it out and like, very few people have seen it. But at the end of the day, I think for me, I always want to like imagine if this was actual physical impact, like 300 people have seen your video, 400 people have seen your video. Like, imagine if you were in a room with those people. And I think social media has made us just like, we've gotten into a world where like these views, we've become like insensitive. It's just like, okay, 2K people, 3K people, that's very few. But like, do you know, if 2,000 people walked up to you, you'd be overwhelmed. So I feel like, yeah, don't let the numbers like deter you. The numbers will come along the way, and just for now, just start. So on September 30th of every year, that's World Podcast Day, and On Top has been out, I think, since April 2023, so that's almost 3 years. And I just felt like I wanted to take a moment and just like reflect on what that journey has been like, but more so especially because On Tape is expanding and it's growing, and it's more than just a podcast now. So that's why I felt like I really, really needed to highlight on the journey. As I look forward to, just expanding and getting into other sorts of shows, which is, what the plan would be, I also wanted to reflect on where it all started from. On Tape was actually not my first podcast. Like most podcasters, I feel like every podcaster has that podcast that never made it out of like the archives. So this was definitely like my second attempt. I remember there's a podcast that I had started with a friend of mine. I think we had like 5 episodes, never went out. We just listened to it ourselves, and we just felt like, nah, we're not ready. And I think that's like a very resounding, even as I'm sharing stories today from other podcasters, it's like a very common story, like that idea that most of us feel like, one, we're not ready, but also we think that we don't think we have something to say to the world. And I think what podcasts have done is that they've changed the game. Like before, you needed all these qualifications to be able to get to like a TV station and say something, but now you just need your phone. And yeah, so that's actually how my first podcast started. I didn't even have a microphone. Actually, my first episode, which if you go back right now on our YouTube, it's called I Asked Ugandan Women. So it wasn't a real episode. And for the people who have followed me for a while, I used to have a blog where I used to talk about basically mental health and women, the same kind of things. And there's this project that I was working on where I was kind of interviewing like different women in the mental space, women who had like podcasts, women who were like advocates. And while I was interviewing them, like obviously this was like written because it's like on a blog, but because it was, a lot of it was like virtual and a lot of them are just like so busy, so most of them like sent in audios because I had sent them like questions of what I wanted. So they sent in their audios and I think I did the project got done. And now, a while later, when I was now like really in the space where I wanted to start the podcast, I think I even had a whole other name. I have, in my archive, I realized that I had like all these collections of just like audios from these like different women talking about like women, like just being a woman or being a girl growing up in Uganda, growing up in Africa. And yeah, so that's kind of where my first episode came from. I reached out to a couple of other friends, got more audios just kind of to like, give it some flesh. I don't think I even knew how to edit by then. Trying to remember how I even put them together. I think I just did Audacity, good old Audacity, put together a lot of the notes. I recorded an intro with my phone and an outro, and yeah, that was an episode, our first episode. So I put it out, and yeah, and honestly, of course, only my few friends and family knew about it. But like even just like the small kind of impact was just great for people to like hear Ugandan women like talk about like the same topic, but just like about how it's affected them like differently because of their backgrounds. And so I felt like now I was just like kind of gassed up and I wanted to start doing a bit more episodes. And I think after that I recorded another episode by myself again in my room, which is a joke that I like to say when I say that the podcast is a dream that just started me on my bed with my phone in the middle of the night, because like also you've never heard yourself speak, the sound of your voice, it's just so irritating, you just don't feel like so many like episodes that definitely didn't make it. But yeah, I think another person that I would definitely want to shout out to is Gabriel Mundaka. I don't know if you're gonna watch this, but yeah, Gabriel was like one of those first people that like believed in my dream. And I remember at that point he was running Box Studios. Shout out to you guys. I don't know if he's still doing that. But my first episodes, which I think Rian, Bana, Kanan, all you guys who used to come to that old place, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, because we had a couple of like old mics and we'd just sit on the dining table and just talk and just chill. And yeah, so that was now the podcast evolving. We continue to have like more guests on. And I think that was really season one was just like it was a back and forth. Like I remember, sometimes we were at the studio, sometimes it was like an episode that's just shot abruptly on a phone somewhere. I remember one of our best performing episodes, if you checked it out, it's a story, it's called I Was Once Married Off at 18, something like that, by my parents. But yeah, my friend and I recorded that on a night out on a phone, and even when you hear its quality, but yeah, it's one of our best performing episodes. So the podcast was really like, it was people that I knew coming on to like share their stories, but also the daring conversations that we're having. And I think someone else that I would definitely have to shout out to is Yuri Yabi. I don't know if you're reading this, I don't know if you're watching this, yeah, but Yuri was very important in us kind of like transforming to video, which now that I look back, for anyone who's starting like a podcast right now, the one thing that I would say is just go audio visual straight away. Don't like wait, because for me I look back and like even when we're having all those episodes at the studio, we could have recorded, our phones were good enough to do that, but a lot of like insecurities and like the fear of like, and I'm not even like a camera person, I'm someone who's like always looking out from the camera, so I was just like, I just want to keep the podcast audio, and like, yeah, and audio podcast is like, for me, it's my ideal. But the truth is, if you want to monetize and grow a community, make a living as a podcast, and you're not looking at it as just a hobby, then audiovisual does a lot, because when people can see you, people can connect to you, so it changes a lot. And I wish, that's definitely something I wish I had done earlier. I wish I had gone audiovisual earlier. But yeah, you really helped, especially with the first episodes, the women's documentary. I can't thank the women that were a part of that enough, because like, for them to just believe in a dream and something that was not like, it was just like an idea, and the impact that it had just for people to see Ugandan women talk and like express themselves and talk about like things that have affected them. I feel like I still, even now when I see someone just who's like watching the documentary for the first time, please go check it out, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. It's a 3-part documentary with these 5 amazing, beautiful women just talking and sharing about their experiences being a woman in Uganda, what that's like, and the narratives, the challenges that they've faced. So it's a very deep documentary, and we're really looking forward to doing more of those. So yeah, that's one of the things that we're going to do more of. But yeah, so that's how we got to visual, and that's how we got here. Okay, I would also really like to appreciate my dad, because he's also been a very important part of this podcast. I feel like my father is very much like involved in sound and production, and that's what his business does, so I know he understands that, but he doesn't still know so much about like content and YouTube and things like that. So of course, when I told him that this is what I wanted to do, I know he didn't really understand what the vision was, but I still felt like he supported me, and he's continuously like shown that, even as like the project has moved on. Thank you for the microphone, thank you for the camera, so yeah, so I feel like I feel like he will continue, to support. And even if it's not even like in terms of like the equipment or things like that, I feel like it was more of him believing in my dream and like pushing me. It's like, now I can do it. Like, if my dad believes in me, I can now come sit here and talk, because who's going to say shit? But like, yeah, so yeah, but yeah, on a larger scale, I also just want to appreciate all my friends and extended family and everyone that's just been involved in the pushing of this podcast, whether it was, the people whose places we've shot at, and it's so much. But I just want to appreciate all of you.
Thank yourself before you finish.
And I also just want to thank myself. Yeah, I feel like, okay, now you're making me feel like I need to reflect on it. But yeah, because I've like single-handedly done this shit. And I used to joke about it, and I would say, oh God.
The effect of claps.
But no, thank you to myself, because I feel like I used to joke about it, and I would say like, this on tape is a 1-woman army, and I think at first people didn't believe it. They were like, what? Like, I know it's not a lot, but like, I used to do it all, and I don't know, there was so much pride in doing it, and it's just the idea that I knew that there was someone who's going to watch it. So I guess even as I thank myself, I have to thank you, the viewer, especially the guys that have like continuously come and supported us. Thank you for subscribing, because we are manifesting over here. Yeah, thank you for subscribing. But I think the challenges that I've talked about, because this episode is really for someone who wants to start a podcast, because I think the other thing that I've realized is that collaboration is a big part of this. Like, you can't do it alone, and the truth is that there is enough space for all of us. Like, even us, as we're in the space, we want more podcasters, more Ugandan creatives to like put out their content, because the more we are, the stronger we are as a collective. Then maybe we can start to talk about things like, can we have laws that are protecting us, or can we have, because now we're like an actual community. So I really want this podcast episode to feel like a collective of voices that are pushing you. If you wanted to start a podcast and you're just like, you're having all these doubts, and you're just like, I don't know, I don't have a microphone, I don't have a camera, I'm just a Ugandan girl, an average Ugandan girl. I think this episode is just to show you that yeah, most of us have started it and done it with nothing, and somehow it's just like when you start, the opportunities start to find you. And I think the other biggest lesson that I've learned is that a lot of these opportunities are going to come in form of people. It's not going to be, like someone is going to hand you your camera and your microphone, but the people that you know, that's like your network is your net worth, like literally. So if you want to start a podcast and you know a couple of people, look within your circle, what people can help you, like what kind of, I guess, assets or resources do you have access to. So that's definitely what, a lot of this episode is going to be about. But I want to encourage whoever it is, just start today. Whatever it is, even if it just feels like it's an idea and it doesn't make sense, just start today. And and you never know. So so guys, go check out those podcasts. Make sure you subscribe. Say On Tape sent you. Bye-bye. We'll see you soon. Yeah. And we're done.